Welcome. It's the cats. We on Intellectual Radio. We on iHeart Radio. And we on Facebook Live many a times. And we here ready to let the cat out the bag.
So you need
Meow.
the women to meow.
Meow. We got a new
You
cat.
got to growl.
We got a new cat in the building right now. We missing the cat.
This lighting sucks.
Make sure you guys got your mic so we can hear you guys. But hold on, we got let me turn this camera around so y'all can see what's happening. We got Miss Rochelle Miles in the building with us today. Miss Beautiful Rochelle in the building with us today, and we have another special guest, Mr. Lawrence Lenore is in the building with us today. So Rochelle, you have to give us a meow. She letting her cat out the bag. If in case you guys don't know, Rochelle is my BFF. She has no idea she's my BFF. She know now. She don't think she knew at first. But anyway, listen here, you guys. Our show today is really gonna be a great show. I'm sorry. It's gonna be a great show, James. It's gonna be a great show. And those of you all come right on in and sharing the video because we're going to bless a lot of people today. We're going to help a lot of people today because the information that we share is going to be uncut, uncensored, and it's going to be from the heart. And I'm going to tell you something. When we share information that come from the heart, it has to reach your heart. So if we just reach your heart today, do us a favor and share the video. But what we going to do is we're going to go ahead and kick our show off like we always do. We got Mr. James J. Hustle in the building.
Yeah, buddy.
We got
Earl got my mic turned down. It's all right. It's okay. I said I was too loud this morning.
Right. We got a new cat on the block, a guy I have a tremendous amount of respect for. I've been watching him on social media. We've been back and forth. If y'all want to know what's going on in our DM, we've been back and forth with each other's messenger. And guess what? I'm talking about a powerful brother. Got a whole lot of stuff going on. Tremendous amount of respect for this brother. We got Mr. Lawrence Lenore in the building.
Good morning.
Good morning. And you know what? We got the quiet storm. When I tell you guys the quiet storm, as a matter of fact, she's one of the reasons that we're hosting this series that we're hosting. And just for you guys, we're a little off track today, but this series starts at actually 10 o'clock a.m. And we'll be doing this for a couple of weeks just to kind of get our feet wet, but it'll start at 10 o'clock a.m. And we're going to really try and reach out and help some folks that's been widowed or divorced, and you really want to let your cat out the bag and talk about some things that people don't normally talk about. So we got Miss Rochelle Miles in the building today. And if you know, I just want to say this, newly widowed Miss Rochelle Miles in the building today. Thank you for being here with us.
You're welcome.
All right. So I tell you what, James.
Yes, ma'am.
I'm back over here at you, cat.
You got to come right to me.
No. But let your cat out the bed. What's going on in your world? How's everything going?
Grinding. Trying to get this wedding planning out the way. It's stressful. If I can go back, it'd be a destination wedding. But I'm doing this for my parents, and yeah, I'm gonna get this done.
I's married almost now, and we got Bay. We got Bay in the studio today. Hey, Bay.
Busy over there looking like a shotgun.
Yeah, Bay is in the studio, you guys. She's out there in the studio with us. But so James, you got the wedding and stuff planned. It's a little stressful, but we understand. But when is the wedding day again?
September 1st, my birthday.
September the 1st, and the cats are, in the wedding. Are we in the wedding, or
You want to be in the wedding? I don't even want to be in the wedding. You be in the wedding if you want to be in the wedding.
I was waiting on the invitation. I thought we was gonna come down.
Come on now, Vera. You black. You get black folk invitation 6 months before time. You gonna be forgot about it by next week.
Okay.
Yeah. See.
Well, just in case y'all looking for a maid of honor or a bridesmaid or a flower girl or something, I can even be a host.
But you are too old to be a flower girl.
Oh.
You need to be more like a coordinator or something, or
Okay.
Oh, never mind.
Well, I just want, I just want to be there. But anyway, you guys, so listen, check this out. Again, today's show, we're going to really just, like I said, let the cat out the bag. We're talking about, women or men, if you've been divorced or if you're a widow. Widow, I don't know how it goes. Is it a widow for men and women? I don't know. Well, whatever. Bottom line, you've lost a spouse. So divorced or widow. We want to hear from you. Marcus Collins, I see you. I see you joined in today too. I got my boy on the phone. Marcus Collins is in the building. Hey Joe, hey Wanda, hey Byron, hey all you guys. Rochelle, you dropped the ball right in your court. We're just gonna come right on over to you, put you on the spotlight. You know what, Rochelle? First of all, if you can just tell our people that's listening today just a little bit about who you are, where you come from, and what your hope of getting across to them today. So just tell people a little bit about who you are and where you come from.
I'm Rochelle Miles. Uh, Rochelle Miles from Bellwood, Illinois. I'm a widow, a mother of 3. I'm an entrepreneur, owner of 2 daycares, network marketing queen, as I call myself, but an entrepreneur. And my goal is today here is to try to help widows. I realized going through this process, I realized that widows are forgotten. After the funeral, we're not thought about anymore. We can become lonely or alone, depending on your situation, hurt, grieving, possibly suicidal, depressed, damaged. So it's so many things that a widow can be going through, but no one will never know because we're at home or left alone by ourselves. And so I'm here today to reach out to widows or divorced women or men, to let them know that there is someone here who's been through it. I know it's been a short time for me going through it, but for some reason, God always takes me through things fast. I guess so that helps someone else. And so I'm here today to reach out. If there's a widow or someone that's divorced out there that's going through, I'm here. Starting a group for widows and divorced women or men, which we'll be launching in April. And we can give you further information about it later.
Right. Well, wow, Rochelle, you covered a lot, and you got a lot of hearts going up too. So people are listening. Antoinette Dorch, I see you watching. Thank you for tuning in. Warren, Cheryl Miles, and Antoinette is her daughter. So I don't know if those hearts are coming from your baby, but somebody's sending you a lot of hearts, whoever that is. But anyway, even as we talk about divorce, we got 2 men here that can really, really relate to the divorce part. Lawrence, and speaking with you, you said that you've been divorced a few times.
Did I say that?
Oh no! My bad.
A few times. I didn't want to tell it out. I forgot to clear the cat's out. Right?
Yeah. How you gonna put his business out there like that? A few times. You
I have.
So and even in the divorce, we realize that that's a death of a relationship.
Mm-hmm.
For those people that may have went through a divorce, can you tell us some of the things? And we're going to hold this conversation, so everybody just feel free to jump in. Can you tell us?
I moved on before my divorce.
You moved on before the divorce?
Yeah, I moved on before my divorce. Yeah, back in 2006. So I'm having a divorce party / bachelor party since I didn't get to have my divorce party back then, which was a celebration. It wasn't no sad time. It was a celebration. I was young. I was dumb. Found out I had a kid. She was moving away. Stuff wasn't going right here for me. So you know what? I did something I didn't really want to do. And we got married and we left and I was back. Well, I could say that I was in the divorce process less than a month.
Wow.
Yeah. No, I'm serious. I joke around a lot, but
serious. I know if nobody letting the cat out the bag, I'm telling you, can believe James. He's letting it out the bag and he's letting the real cat out. So that's one thing about James. Look, Lawrence, what happened with you?
Well, since you spoke on divorce being the death of a relationship and someone being a widower, one thing that happens is when you get divorced or when you become a widow or widower, people have a tendency to want to hook you up. I know a guy, he's a good guy, or that woman wasn't right for you. Mm-hmm. My sister, she always did like you, and the thing is, we have to look at, what did I get out of my husband or wife's death from them? How did I grow? What part of them helped build me up to be a better person? And the same thing with a divorce. Too many times in a divorce, we say that person wasn't no good. It's their fault that we got divorced because whether they were cheating, stealing money, lying, or whatever, you know, they just wasn't right for me. Yeah, people do it. You go to the bank. Anyway, and you get money missing. But you know, we never look at our part, what role we played in it. We weren't all perfect. Anytime somebody say it was her fault that we got divorced, I divorced her because it was her fault, she messed up or he messed up, run from that person. So go ahead. I'm sorry.
No. But you're right. I just got a question for Rochelle. Rochelle, in the initial 48 hours, because we're jumping right back from divorce to the widows, in the initial 48 hours, when the door or the phone call comes in, what would you tell a person to do when they get that call or that knock? Is it anything that you can say when it's a divorce? Because you were married like 34, 35 years?
32 years.
32 years. And you were married, actively married to your husband. And all of a sudden, just one day, what do you do in that first 48 hours, Rochelle?
The first 48 hours, there's not much you can do but cry, scream, holler. You lost. You really don't know what to do because your whole life has been taken from you. At that moment, that's what you're thinking. Your whole life is gone. And it's like, what do I do now? Where do I go? What's next? Am I going to be able to live again? My life is over. This was my life. So you really don't know what to do in the first 48 hours. But what comes naturally is grieving. What about my kids? You think you're just thinking about everything. And you're thinking about, is this real? It's like it's not real. He's coming back. You crying. You know, there's nothing in the 48 hours. Those are the worst 48 hours of your life.
First 48 hours.
The first 48 hours are the worst of your life.
And here we are. In some way, you made it through. Mm-hmm. How do you make it through the first 48? How do you make it through? So if somebody's listening now, and maybe it has happened, and I see some people in that, yeah, they went through that, and they lost their husband 2 years ago, and you know they've been trying to get people to hook them up or whatever the case may be. But how do you go on, and what actually get you through when somebody may say, I can't move on, I can't get past this 48 hours? What would you tell them to push, how they push on?
Well, my first 48 hours, that's what I thought. I couldn't move on. I thought my life was over. I felt like I couldn't live. I thought I was going to die with him. I just knew my life was over. I didn't even see the next day. I just knew I was going to die because that's all I knew. 32 years, that's a long time. Yeah. And you lose your husband, your children's father, your best friend, your business partner. We did everything together. And so I just thought my life was up. I thought I was going to die with them. But then there's always this inner side of me that always pushed me through. And the good thing, I had a great support system. So for all my family and friends and business partners and relatives that's watching, I'm so grateful for the support system that I had. You need a great support system. And I had a wonderful support system. Didn't know I had it until this happened, because I've always been one supporting everybody, encouraging everybody, and lifting everybody up. And I guess I sold for so many years, they sold back into me. So that was the one thing that helped me. And the next thing that helped me was I realized that my kids needed me. I realized that other people needed me because I've always been here for everybody. So I realized other people needed me, but I had to accept the fact that he died and that he's not coming back. That's the first thing. You have to accept the fact that they're gone and they're not coming back. That's the first acceptance.
If you don't mind me asking, how did he pass?
He had a heart attack. And that's a whole nother show for men.
Yeah.
A whole nother show. Yeah, a whole nother show that we need to talk about for men. To please take care of yourself. Go to the doctor. If you get signs, listen to those signs. Take your medicine, exercise, and eat right. But that's a whole nother show.
But it's a whole nother show. But you know what is in divine perfectness? Because even when we start talking about the way that you're constantly going on, you've started a business as a result of that actually help men monitor their heart. And one of the things that you said is that you really feel like that if your husband would have been wearing this wristband, that it could have played a significant role in him at least being alerted.
Would have made him aware. Right, we have a,
and you don't have to say the company, right? But you can just let them know that.
Right, there's a watch that I started, a business that I'm in, and it's a watch that you can wear. And if my husband would have had this watch, it probably would have alerted me that he was having problems with his heart, and it probably could have said it would not probably it would have saved his life, because I would have knew ahead of time that there was something wrong, and he could have went to the doctor, and they could have helped him. And at the time of him dying, he could have pushed the panic button. It could have alerted me to let me know where he was at, and I could have been there with him.
I got a question. I got a question. Okay, because this is something that's very important. Because I've had 4-mile heart attacks, numerous TIAs. Okay, and I changed what I eat, my routine, and everything. I finally learned how to follow the doctor's orders, take my medication, and then try to switch it up to natural foods. But this watch that you're talking about, this is something that's phenomenal.
It is.
I mean, we have pendants, we have wristbands that say medic alert and all that, but to have on something that is as common as a watch that can monitor your heart or your health.
It's a human dashboard.
It's a human dashboard.
It's like a car. Your car has a dashboard that alerts you when you're out of gas. Your oil needs to be changed. Well, this is a watch that's a human dashboard that lets your body know when something is wrong with your blood pressure, your heart. Even for those who have that's a diabetic, it can also help you with your sugar level. It can tell your sugar instead of doing the needles in your finger.
Hold on, caller. Here we go.
It will let you know your blood sugar.
Wow. So anytime your heart rate go up, it monitors all of that, and it lets the other person know. Does it automatically let you know, or is it a way that you could set it to send you alerts
Right. It's going to send you an alert through text or email.
You know what?
And we're going to go more into that. But for those people that are interested, drop us a line and let us know that you're interested, because we're going to have a platform just letting people know. That's a whole nother show.
That's a whole nother show, yes.
But guess what? It's an important show because it's all about prevention. And even though we know that there is an appointed time, but sometimes some certain things that we can do to help us during this time to take precaution.
Now, you know what? Now, I don't know if you thought about this or not.
It's the Cats Out Show.
But this watch is a good idea to help save a person's life.
Oh, yeah.
But also, it's a good idea if your man really don't know about it and he been doing something you don't trust him. You got the GPS on the watch. And for two, you got the heart monitor. So let's say he at the Cindy Lynn or something like that, and his heart rate done spiked all the way up.
You gotta take that watch out.
And you know his heart rate done spiked, and now you done bust in and you see him with Barbara.
Well, then you need to quit playing.
But you know what? At least he'll die happy. You probably
don't run our men away from buying this watch. Don't worry. Right. Hey, caller, who do we have on the line? State your city and state you're calling from, please.
Demetrius, Florida.
Okay, go ahead with your question or your comment.
My comment was when I lost my husband. In 2011.
You lost your husband in 2011?
Yeah, I lost my husband in 2011, and I went home and he was sick.
Wow.
I went home and he was sick and he died in my home.
Oh, wow.
I thought my world was over.
Yes.
But I used that as a stepping stone. Yes, I lost my husband in 2011. But I used that as a stepping stone to stay positive. And I kept going to school and I kept doing a lot of things to keep it. But I realized that there is life after death.
Yes, it is.
And I had to pull out my big girl pants. And I said, I thought my world was coming to an end.
Yes.
And I never faced the situation. And I kept myself very active. Okay, and I pushed myself through this. I didn't have no support system. It was only me by myself.
That's good.
Okay, I had to take care of myself. You know, my husband was my world.
Mm.
He took care of me. He was my backbone. He was my best friend. But at the same time, I had to uh, keep my focus. And if I didn't know Jesus Christ as my Lord and Savior, I couldn't have got through it because I knew the Bible and I knew that the vessel of the body is only here temporarily. And that one day we all gonna be called home.
That's true.
And we have to let go of the shield.
Mm-hmm.
And so that's how I got through it because 5 years before that, I lost my son. He was only 11 and a half years old.
Mm.
So I just think that we all have to keep our focus, whether we lose someone or not. We could lose our mind. We could lose who we are. But if we stay positive and we use the situation as a meat to eat and to get us forward, not something that to weaken us and take away from us. And a lot of people, that's what happens. And they focus on the negativity that happens, and they not able to get out the run. But all I want to tell someone that don't use that as a weak point of your life. Use it as a strong point of your life for the simple fact that if you look at the good things, if you had good things, you could use that as your backbone.
And you know what? I'm sorry, Carla, to interrupt you, but two things here. I'm not sure whose live you're listening to. We would like to at least be able to follow back up with you because we have a platform that Rochelle has started as a result of, in honor of her husband,
FLMM Foundation.
FLMM Foundation.
Yes.
And we would like to have your, testimony and maybe even have your input in helping with this foundation. So whose live are you watching? If you could leave your name or inbox or comment, I would like to follow up with you.
Yes.
Well, Vera Giles, I'm watching your live. And I don't know if you any kin to Vera Giles.
That's my cousin. I'm just joking. I don't know. It's very possible.
Yeah, and so if you any kin to Vera Giles, Wellington Giles, I don't know if you remember Wellington Giles, but I have a son that Wellington Giles.
Well, if you don't mind sending me an inbox message so that we could connect, I appreciate your comment. You shared a lot of light. And I'm going to ask you one question before we even tune out. How long did it take you to even start dating, or are you dating right now?
Yes, I am dating. I think I moved too fast in that situation. I think I didn't heal properly. So I think that I jumped into a relationship and it was really unhealthy for me. And I really didn't, at that time, didn't know who I was. I was still trying to find myself without my husband. So I would tell any individual who going to date after a situation like that to make sure that you are conditioning yourself to know who you are and where you're going. And see, my thing was I was married for 20 years. And so I didn't want to be alone. So I settled.
How long?
The settlement that I settled with was unhealthy to me altogether with the loss of my husband. But I would tell any individual, don't settle. Make sure that you are healed in the inside, because you tend to lower your standards because you want something there to fill the gap. and you don't need something there to fill the gap. You need to condition yourself and get well, because when you get well, you are able to achieve so much that way. But which I was able to go on and get my associate's degree and go on and get my bachelor's degree. Yeah. You know, I kept my focus. I didn't allow the situation to break me.
Okay. Well, I'm sorry. I don't mean to interrupt you, but how long did it actually take you before you moved on? Even though you felt as though you moved too fast, how long before you actually started to date someone or see?
You know what? It wasn't long. I would say, actually, that was my get over point. So I started getting in the street, study facing reality. I would say it wasn't long that I just started getting in the street, running around.
Go on, tell them, girl. It was the next day. It was the day after. I met him at the funeral, girl.
No, it wasn't the next day, but it was a couple weeks, a couple months later that I really got into it. But I really started partying, getting in the street. I started using that to cover up my hurt. Mm-hmm. So, but as far as dating, really getting in serious relationship, I lost him like in October. And I say I was in a relationship like the following year, about that time, 2012. But before 2012, getting into the relationship, I was trying to get involved with different people, and they just wasn't my type of party. Mm-hmm. So I would not, I would end up doing things that I didn't feel comfortable with, or it wasn't feeling comfortable with, but I would end up having sex with a man that I really didn't really learn or get to learn, or, something like that. It was, this is what went on in the process of me trying to recover certain situations.
You know what? I appreciate your realness, sister. Yes. Thank you so much for letting your cat out the bag. And again, say your name for me again. I'm sorry.
I'm Denisa.
Oh, okay. Make sure you send me an inbox with your phone number in it, and we definitely gonna follow up. Okay, sister.
Okay. Thank you again, Vera. And I love your talk show, and I love how real you are. And most of all, I love that you keep God in the center, and you're not afraid to speak who He is. And a lot of people, they are afraid to identify who carries them, and that's something that you're not in. I like that in you. You just keep it all real all the way around, and that's a plus.
Wow. Amen. I appreciate you. Thank you, sister. And give us a meow. All right. So, Rochelle.
Yeah, that was
James.
That was really good.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, really good. And what she said is really true. You have to stay, and you have to stay focused and be around more positive people and doing positive things in order to move on.
All right.
I honestly think we all, I'm not going to say we settle, but anytime, it doesn't just have to be a death or a divorce. Anytime we out of a relationship and it was somebody that we actually did love, whether we were the ones that messed it up or not, which us men, we don't like to take responsibility for our part and stuff. Right. And I learned how to do that. But when you out of a relationship or somebody dies, it's a divorce, we tend to start talking to God, and to get ourselves out of that funk or that depression or that mood that we in, we start being around people, or we start going out, or you just start meeting people and you just sleeping with random people just to try to take your mind off of that hurt or that pain that you went through. And when you do that, it works for the moment, but you revert back to what you were going through. So you have to actually take time to heal yourself. And I'm not telling nobody how to heal themselves or how long it take to move on, because it took me quite a while to move on. But I know that I was playing hopscotch until I actually figured out that I had to learn how to love myself, and I had to learn how to heal myself. So I'm not gonna get nobody a time limit, but I'm gonna say do what you have to do for you and nobody else. If you truly want to move on, do that. If you want to date, move, do that. You want to go out, have sex, protect yourself, do that. You can't let your kids or nobody else dictate how long it takes because mama died or daddy died or whoever died. You got to do what you got to do for you.
That's true.
Wow. And just for those that's probably watching, because I know Rochelle got some vultures. Her coochie is on lock. Huh? I'm just joking. But no, Rochelle, she just got to laugh.
That's in case anybody out there was thinking.
They looking like, what? This last caller like, what? let me just call you up.
Right.
And Rochelle, this is one of the things that you even talked about, because you're very wise in that area and very cautious. You said you've not been that, you wasn't that girl before, and because you're God-fearing now, you're not that girl now. So I'm glad. Now, can you talk about maybe are there temptations, or how do you fight off the vultures when they come just knocking at your door? What do you use?
Being married, there's vultures out there, and that people try to talk to you even if you're married. But being single, oh my God, it's really different. There's so many vultures. Married men, preachers, pastors,
women.
Women. I ain't got the women. Yet. Yeah,
women.
I ain't got the women yet. But it's more married men come after you than single men.
Wow.
And that's really, I didn't realize what single women go through. So now I've been through it all. Married, widowed, except for divorce, and now single. So now I can identify with what single women go through. And it's not nice because I try to try to be a respectful woman, and I try to respect people, and I want people to respect me. So whatever I do, I try to keep it private. But I don't want to be attacked by married men, because I honor marriage, because God honors marriage. Mm-hmm. So one of the things that I honor, two things I honor and respect highly, is marriage and ministers, pastors, however, the men with the cloth. So those are two people that I highly respect, and those are two people that I would not dare touch. Mm-hmm. I respect women and their marriage. I respect men in their marriage, because I wanted people to respect mine. And so that's something I don't cross that line.
And you so, always, you spoke on people that are engaged. I know that's part of your platform too.
Engagement, marriage, and men of the cloth, that's a line I do not cross. But if you're single, it's up for grabs. She don't mean. Well, I don't mean up for grab for me.
That don't mean call in and try to get her number.
I'm just calling in. No, what I'm saying is, let me clarify. Anybody that's not married, engaged, or man in the cloth, you're up. You're. What's the right I'm trying to say?
Well, you can put your bid in.
Right, you can put your bid in.
Call 599.
God only honors marriage and engagement. God only honors marriage and engagement. If you're dating, that man is not your husband. That woman is not your wife. So everybody had a bid on them.
And her daughter is online now. Oh, wow. Antoinette said, "Please don't."
It's only
everybody get a bid, as long as you're not engaged.
But
so what about
the ones in
relationships?
Marriage, engagement is the only thing that God honors.
So if they're in a relationship, they can still put a bid in.
Are they engaged? Are they
Lord,
married?
have mercy. Let me shut up. I don't know what to say right now.
I'm just saying that in the sense of, if you're not married or engaged, that's what God honors.
Right, Jonathan.
I'm not saying that I want their man, or I'm going to go after somebody man that's single. I'm just saying in reality,
that's it.
Right.
Unless you're married or engaged, hands should be off, because God honors marriage and engagement. But when you're single, you're single. Mm-hmm. What's the relationship to me is marriage and engagement.
That's right.
Anything after that is not nothing that God doesn't honor. He only honors marriage.
If that's your boyfriend, then he wasn't last night. No.
So you mean to tell me, if I wasn't engaged, that I could play hopscotch?
No,
don't look at me like that.
That's not what I'm saying. I mean,
no, I'm messing with you.
To eat. I mean, all I'm saying is that That's what I honor. What God's honor is marriage and engagement. I'm just saying, when you're single, we see how it is with people dating. They can be. I mean, you want to be in a committed relationship, but I mean, let's get real. Look at the relationships that's out here. You got men with 3 and 4 and 5 girlfriends, but engagement and marriage is what God honors, and that's what I honor. And I'm not saying I'm gonna mess with somebody's boyfriend. No, I wouldn't do that either. But I'm not talking for me personally.
You're just talking in general.
In general, yeah.
Right.
If you are in a relationship, okay, and you want to mess around, I believe you should make it clear. You know, you on the team, but it's not your day to play. Okay. If you're in a relationship where you're engaged or plan on getting engaged, or you are married, me personally, I used to look at my ex-wife and say, hey, listen, you know, this person did this wrong or did that wrong. Then I started looking at the good things about them and how they made me a better person. Now I look at the person I'm with and how they're making me a better person. If a person you're with is not making you a better person, I mean, it's just like eating fat burgers and drinking pop every day. Sooner or later, it's going to affect you in a negative way. You know, you got to look for healthy relationships. And that's not only with the opposite sex, but that's with your friends. You know, that's with your church. That's everywhere. Look for things that are healthy that's going to help you grow to be a better person.
That's right. And since we got a man on the panel, I want to get your opinion about something, but I want to piggyback off of what you just said. If the person you with not making you a better person, then there's no reason for that person to be in your life.
Right.
Because what I used to tend to do, I used to look at people like, okay, well, this person did this and this person did that. And why this person not doing this and why this person not doing that for me? We look at the negative things that they not putting on the table, bring to the table, and we don't see what they actually do bring to the table.
Right.
Now, when I was at service Sunday, my pastor said something that was interesting. He said, neither one of us are perfect. And that's true.
That's true.
But when you have somebody, you can mold that person into who you want or need them to be, and they should be able to do the same with you.
Right.
So the grass ain't always green on the other side. And that's another reason. And since we got a man up here, he could help me explain what I'm trying to say. The reason that a lot of men, as far as married men or whatever, tend to seek a woman with a ring on her finger, the same thing like women seek a man with a ring on his finger, is because you want what you don't have.
Right.
So let's say me and my fiance in a relationship. A lot of people look at us on the internet and think that we all so perfect. So people want me and people want her, but they don't realize that we everyday people. We had the same life issues, same relationship issues and everything, but we had to learn to combine. And, you know, basically you got to come together and you got to make things work.
Make it work.
If you don't fight for it, then it won't happen. Ain't nobody perfect. I can look at somebody outside like, man, look at what she got on. But then in all actuality, I learned how to say, damn, look what she got on. You know what? I'm finna go buy this for my lady. Instead of telling her how she need to dress, why you don't do this and why you don't do that, I'm finna go to the store. I know your size from drawers to clothing.
That's true.
I'm finna get you a whole outfit. Here go this box right here. What's this? Open it up. Let's go.
We just talked about that.
We just talked about that. Matter of fact, we got a caller on the line. Caller, go ahead, state your name and city and state you're calling from, please.
Hey everybody, I'm John Pettis and from Chicago, Illinois. Chicagoland area. How's everybody doing today?
Hey, meow.
Hey, well, I want to kind of chime in. I'm hearing everybody, and it's a great conversation because I just got off the phone with a brother that is kind of going through some things in his marriage, and I think that what we have to identify too is where marriage begins. You got to. You can't just say it's something that we came up with because we just wanted to marry and saw that God said that he saw that man was alone and thus came woman. And it's a covenant. It's not a covenant with just a man and a woman. It's a covenant between a man, a woman, and God.
That's right.
I always tell people that, you know, if you tell a young lady who was looking for a husband or whatever, and I say, listen, if your guy that you're dating, boyfriend, fiance, whatever, cannot keep a faithful commitment to the Lord, guarantee you he won't be faithful commitment.
That's true.
Pretty much.
That's true.
God, Yahweh and the Omega, the beginning and the end, the first and the last. The one that created the sun, the moon, the heaven, and stars, the light, even to our very body. is the one that can speak in your life is done. He can speak in your life as done. And if you can keep a covenant that has no fear of the Lord, why would you put up with it?
Wow.
That's true.
Rochelle, what you got to say about that? I know you say that's true, right?
That is true, yes. Because if they're not faithful to God, they will not be faithful to you. I used to say that all the time. Your first commitment is to God.
Yeah. And with that respect, it's like, well, then, what chances do I have as nobody has kept a perfect covenant except Jesus Christ. Exactly. Which means that if you are a believing person, don't date potential. You don't marry potential. I hope you don't get saved. I hope you don't get it. It's better off being by yourself than trying to marry a heathen, hoping they get it like Christ. Because then your relationship goes horrible that way. But they should have a relationship of faithfulness to the Lord, which governs them, so that the Lord can speak to them, not if they mess up, but when they mess up. There's a conviction in their life. Some of these brothers out here, some of these women out here, don't have a conviction when they do wrong. Like the young man was saying, like, if this young lady was something wrong, you're not going to her saying, like, oh man, she's so fine, and then hitting up the other, hitting his wife up like, man, you dressed like that. There's a conviction, like, you're beautiful, awesome. Man, I love to see my woman in that. I'm going to go buy you this because I want you. You're the one I want. So the conviction is there. God gives conviction in our lives that causes us to be guided, to be led. And if we don't have that leading guidance, just being led by the flesh, of course you're going to marry a dog. Of course you're going to marry a dog. On both sides. You're going to do whatever the flesh desires,
Okay. Well, hey, thank you so much for your comment. We appreciate you, brother.
Yes.
Thank you. Thank you.
Right.
Have a great one. So we got people, we got all kind of comments. Brad, let me tell you something. I'm not wiping the phone down. You got to listen to the phone. This phone been through a lot, and we need people to understand. This phone,
Wipe the phone.
right? It's been used by a lot of people, and that's what makes it so powerful. Because sometimes God bless us in our dirt.
That's what makes us so powerful, because a lot of us been used by a lot of people.
Yeah.
And then we get into a relationship and people don't understand, why are you so focused and tough or disciplined or whatever, whether you're a man or a woman.
Yes.
All I did was come in at 2 a.m, baby. I mean, I was with the guys. What's the big deal? Because I've been used by a lot of men, Negro, and I'm not going to let you do it. I'm seasoned and I'm educated in people, and I ain't going to let it happen.
And
so get your key back, woman.
Get your key back. And you know what? And that's great we brought that up, because one of the things that even in conversation is that a lot of times when you've widowed or divorced and you've been through a lot, you have no room, Rochelle, your room for error, your room for arguments, your room for confusion.
No room for it. If you've been in a marriage for 32 years, we all know what comes with marriage. And so at this point in my life, I have no room for arguing. At 50, I decided I'm not arguing anymore. That's it. Because when you get a certain age, a lot of things you just refuse to deal with. And when you get in a certain position. Right now, I don't have to deal with arguments. I don't have to deal with confusion. I don't have to deal with any of that. And anybody that comes into my life, if they're coming with drama, I don't want them.
That's right.
If they come in lying, manipulating, and all this mess, I don't want them. And I can spot them a mile away now. So if you ain't coming with the right motives, with the right attitude, with peace, then I'm not the one to come to. I'm not the one. I'm looking for somebody that's peaceful.
And she got some protectors, because they all on my timeline saying, you don't want this, don't try it. I'm watching. I'm her protector. I mean, they all on they going hard. So she got a lot of nephews, daughters, and best friends, and they watching. And and special friends and all that's on the so that's one of the things. But you know what? We heard a young lady that even called in and said she didn't have anyone.
Yes.
So for those people that have no one to give them any advice, and I'm gonna start with you, James. They went through a divorce or they're going through a widow, and they have absolutely nobody in their ear to tell them anything right now.
Yeah. You
be the voice for them.
I say go to God. That's what it took for me. And if you don't believe in God, go to whoever you believe in. Yeah. Allah, Buddha, whoever. You have to seek peace within yourself. Because if you can't do it for yourself, can't nobody else do it for you.
That's true.
I could tell you all day long what you should do, but that don't mean you gonna do it. because I got the same advice from people. It don't mean you're gonna do it, but then you look back like, you know what, they was right. You got to do what you got to do for you.
Yeah, do what you got to do for, and you know what? And with that being said, I'm gonna tell you something. Y'all heard what he said. He said, go to God, Buddha, or some higher power, not the bottle, not the joint, not that, because that's not gonna do it for you. As a matter of fact, that's only gonna alter your thinking. So if you're gonna take the advice, take the real advice. What this man said, let's go to a higher authority that can pull you through.
And I ain't gonna act like I'm no saint, because when I was going through it, I would get my bottle, sit in my room, and I would read the Bible. I know that might sound kind of hypocritical or backwards, but
I'm a Christian.
I wasn't saying I was getting drunk, but
we're going to get something today.
I would drink and I would read my Bible, and no matter what people told me, I didn't listen to their advice. And eventually, I stopped drinking while reading the Bible. I mean, I still drink, don't get me wrong, but I wasn't sitting there every day drinking. You know, I would start actually getting into the Bible. It's a lot of things I didn't understand about the Bible. So when you don't understand things about the Bible, that's when you got to go to somebody that can help you understand the Bible. You know, you can't let a person give you things from their perspective and actually want you to do what they want you to do. They have to help you seek what you try to seek.
Right.
So, I mean, it's not too much that you really can do. All I can say, my advice to a man or woman, move on when you feel it's time to move on. Do what you got to do for you. Don't let nobody influence you and tell you what you should do, how you should be doing it, who you should be with, because they not you. You got to live your life for you.
That's true.
We only get one life.
One life. And you know what? And even as you're speaking, the hearts are going up and people are agreeing with what you're saying. And and I'm gonna go back to you, Rochelle, before I get to Lawrence, because you even said you had wine. And there are people that are saying, God knows you need some type of relief sometimes. And then we got Angie Miles.
But not just wine. I want people to think I'm just drinking wine. I did a lot of prayer, a lot of worship. I did a lot of motivational speakers. I had a lot of positive people around me, but even though I had people around me, I still was alone. But they weren't there in that room when I was crying and when I was screaming and when I was hollering. So I had to go through this by myself in reality, because when everybody is gone, I'm in that room in that house, this house by myself, lights flickering and dog barking, and I'm there by myself. So I had to go and find that relief. And I've been saved since I was 17. So me and God is like this. So I have a relationship with God, but when you're grieving and going through, sometimes you can't even call on God. So I'm going to be real with that. When you're going first 48 hours, nobody matters to you at that point. But once you come back to yourself, I knew who to go to. And I went to my Father, which is God. He's my Father. He's my daddy. I don't call him my savior. I call him my savior, but he's my daddy. And he has always been a father to me. So I had to go to him. I got in that word. I got in worship. I did prayer, motivational speaker, a lot of worship songs, a lot of music. And music is so healing.
Yes, it
and
is.
I did all that and listened to nothing but positive TV shows. I didn't have nothing negative. And that pulled me through. But I used the wine because I had to have something to relax me. So there was days that I couldn't sleep. I couldn't relax. So the wine was there for relaxing. But the Bible is not against wine. Wine is good for the soul. It's just wine. Red wine.
Wine good for the soul.
Yes.
No,
that's in the script. That's in the
Bible. I like to make a comment now with that wine thing. And everybody has their own thing. Okay. But if you know that if you drink a glass or two of wine, you're gonna end up going to get a pint of Jack Daniels.
I know my limits.
No. You know, don't get the wine if you know you're gonna get drunk.
No, you have to
keep going.
I'm the type of person, I know my limits. That's the thing. I'm a very wise woman. I know my limits and everything I do. I teach my kids, whatever you do it in moderation and know your limits. I know not to go past 1 or 2 drinks, because now you're going into getting drunk. I'm very wise when it comes to the things that I do. I've been saved, like I said, since I was 17. So I know the Bible and I know what it says. But Christians will tell you cannot drink. No, don't be drunk. I'm not a drunkard, but I will drink a glass of wine to relax myself because I couldn't sleep.
Right. And one thing, I've never drank to get drunk.
Right.
Never in my life. Like, you hear a lot of people my age, like I'm 35, and you hear people out here, oh man, we finna go get drunk. I don't want to get drunk. Right. I think I've been drunk once in my life, and it's a horrible feeling. You don't drink to get drunk. Now you drink to get buzzed, you drink to relax, but if you drink to get drunk, you got a problem.
Somebody said Jesus turned water into wine.
And I turned water into Kool-Aid.
And he had the very best wine.
Matter of fact,
it wasn't good until.
But everybody got a thing that they do is like a comfort. Like mine was sex. And the person that I had wanted back at the time, the person I wanted back at the time, even though I was messing up beforehand, when I messed up and I lost it all, it made me realize why I lost it all. And my comfort thing was sex. And I'm like, I can't just go out doing this and doing that. When I did start moving on, the people that I was with, I would imagine that they was up. So it's a lot that you go through. I thought there was bounty hunters coming up in here, man. Don't just be coming up in here like that.
You mean tell me you around here having sex with people, imagining they were somebody else?
You didn't call them by her name.
No. Okay. I would just be honest with them, like, look, I don't even like you like that. I'm just trying to hit.
But I'm gonna act like you somebody else. So just close your eyes.
So just let me spank you.
I'm just being honest. A lot of people cannot handle the truth. Just like in the days when I was out here playing around, like I would tell women, like, I'm not finna get caught up. I'm with her, but I got her, and her. And when y'all see me with her, y'all don't say nothing to me. And you better not be with nobody. That's how stupid and selfish I was. But at least
was a pimp.
I was honest.
You was a pimp.
Yeah. When you get caught up, you learn. You know what? You just got to give it to a person. I learned how to just be honest. It's either they gonna accept it or they not.
That's true.
Same thing with you.
And I respect that. I respect a man to be honest.
Just give a person an option to decide if they want to stay and deal with it or not. That's kind of like side chicks.
Yes.
When men have side chicks, we don't go get these chicks and be like, oh no, we not. Well, you got a lot of dudes be lying to my. Well, yeah, we just stay together, but we ain't together. Stop lying, man.
Yes,
look,
that's true.
Tell her what it is, but don't be pillow. Know what her purpose is. Your purpose is I'm coming to your house for relaxation because I don't want to argue when I go home. So you are to relax me, or you to cook me dinner, have sex, whatever. But you know your place.
Most people live together, but they're not living together. Right. They're living together, but they don't live together. And that's something we're gonna cover next week.
Nah, these dudes be lying. I can't stand her. We finna break up the whole time. It's a lie.
I'm sure most women will respect what he's saying. At least let me know what I'm dealing with and let me choose to decide whether I want to be with you or not. But women hate men that are liars and manipulators. Be upfront. If you're going to cheat, at least let the woman know and let her choose whether she want to deal with you or not. And I respect that.
Everything
that's a whole nother show.
I respect that. That is.
Woman, you know your place.
Yes. You know your place.
No. Now you're making it sound arrogant, but I was in the same situation with women.
I'm just messing.
Because in my younger days, I would mess around with married women. I would never do that now. I know the consequences. I would never mess with nobody, engaged, married, whatever. But back then, when I see a woman with a ring on her finger and I see how the dude treating her, that was my opportunity to slide in and get what I wanted. I was getting, man, women was paying me. And you can ask my fiance, I got stories.
Did she get cut?
No, it was way before her. Okay. But I had a guy actually come to the hotel. We at the Westin in Oak Brook. And he came through the door, and I'm looking like, this nigga finna kill me. I'm like, who the hell is this? And then she looking, oh, that's my husband. He looked, no, brother, it's cool. As long as you keep her happy, I'm happy. I just wanted to let you know. You give her a little something. She said that you wanted to break it off because she told you that she was married. Because I didn't know she was married at the time. I just thought she was in a relationship. So this chick was giving me money, and this dude wanted to give me more money to keep his wife happy.
Woo! So
that confused me. Yeah. And I had to cut all that out. That's crazy. Man, your conscience will mess
somebody
with
you. Needed to pimp you.
So I tell you what, you guys.
Whatever you got going on.
Let me bring this show to an end, but I want all you guys to keep coming back. We just covered a topic that is so near and so dear, and we tried to do it as professional, as God-fearing, and from the heart as we possibly could. But this topic is not to be taken lightly. We're hoping, we're praying that we reach those people that are widowed, those people that may have been through a divorce. And I want to take the time to personally thank my good friend, Rochelle Miles, for sharing her platform with us, because each one has a responsibility to reach one. And your story is not just your story. It could actually be that story that brings someone to life. There are some people right now that are so devastated because they got the knock. There are some people right now that are so devastated because they went through the court proceeding. You can make it. It's the Cats. We're on Intellectual Radio. We're on iHeartRadio. And we're on Facebook Live. many a times. And we did it. We did it. Another week. We just let the cat out the bag. Meow. Roar. We out of here, you guys.